definitely.
All right, so just a little side note to start off. How long have you lived in Chico?
Oh yeah, I've lived in Chico for shit. This is about 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been part of the music scene here?
Well, working at the Music Connection, I think I've always been a part of it in some way. But as far as being involved in live music, playing and booking shows, whatever, probably since about 2006
Okay.
ish, and from that point, starting bands and playing and booking shows. So yeah.
Nice. Sorry, but when trucks go by, can you talk a little louder? Sorry
Yeah.
about that. So how is the music scene now different from, when you started?
Well, there's way different venues that are being utilized, and I think that there's less of I would say, a jam band party vibe as a prominent fixture in the music scene, whereas
Right.
it's a little bit more. I wouldn't ever go far as to say like indie and stuff, but it's just like there seems to be more of a diversity of bands, and not just strictly like the Chico party time band or whatever.
Right.
So it's just like across the board. You got your metal, you got your indie folk, you got a lot of different things. It's a lot of different venues playing. I think people's attention spans, as far as like being able to sit down and watch music, isn't as keen as it used to be. But if you get something really interesting, people could be really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So I don't know if this is a similar answer to you, but what does the music scene mean to you? Like, what is it all about?
Probably to the effect of it being like its own thing. I think that by its own thing, I mean being like, you can't really control what the music scene is. It's just it is what it is. You can try and help curate it or make things happen, but really it's all the will of the artist and the musicians and the people who are involved, and you can't mold it into being a certain thing. You just have to just be a part of it. And I just feel like Chico's, it's really special. It's filled with a bunch of talent. We're all really into being in Chico and being all about the music scene here.
Culture.
The culture, absolutely. To be vague about it, but yeah, that's what it means to me.
Okay.
For sure.
Sweet. Do you think, is there any tactics or ideas to make it even better than it is now?
No. I don't think of it as any better or worse than it was before. I just think that if people want to be involved, to be involved with the genuine outlook and aspect, and not try to, again, you could try as many different tactics or ideas to make it better. But honestly, it's, if people aren't showing up to the shows, or they are, that's just an ultimate personal decision.
Yeah.
How people are received onto that information, that's a completely different thing. I think that's like marketing, or being able to get your ideas and or bands and or music out there. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways for that, and it's in competition with a lot of different other kinds of entertainment and art. So I don't think there's any one thing that I could think of other than people kind of pushing their own bands and own artistic endeavors and getting people interested and also pushing themselves, so it's not the same thing over and over again. So
Right.
it's really going to come from the artists, and the audiences will come if it's interesting enough.
Nice. So pretty much last question. So having been traveling all around the country with your other bands, is there any towns or states that you notice where the music scene is a lot different? Maybe prices, support-wise, culture, sounds?
Yeah, it's just everywhere you go is not only different in like the actual venue you show up and play or the bands you play with, but each town has its own flavor of like what they are, what goes on there as far as musically. And I think that, you get to a bigger city, usually it costs more to get in. But I find that the bigger cities people tend to be more jaded, I would say, a little bit. And whereas the smaller towns, people are more excited. And they get really pumped when like a band that they don't really know that much about comes through and they play really well, and it gets them excited. Or they're even excited before the show happens because they're like, nothing ever really comes through here. Why are you guys coming through? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I find like you go to places like Seattle and like San Francisco or wherever, people are kind of put through the ringer by living in a big city. So to be excited about playing a show or seeing other bands when you could just do that like any moment. And I think that's one thing that people need to be really careful about here, is oversaturating with just anything just because. I'm all for people doing shows and whatever. And I guess if that was one tactic, would be really selective about how you approach presenting music and having live events. But yeah, you go to I can think of you go to Olympia, Washington. They're like into doom metal and to black metal. That's what they really like. And their music scene small and tight knit or whatever. And then you go to a place like Seattle, which is not that far from there, and it's huge. So, but I think it's just cool that anything's going on anywhere at any time. So.
Nice. Anything else you want to say?
No.
For the people? People to come out? Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.